Hello, Michael here, looking at Psalms 87 for our devotion today. This psalm, which may be subtitled, Glorious Things of You Are Spoken. And we're focusing on the last four verses of this psalm, verse 4 down to 7. Let's go ahead and read those four verses. Verse 4. I will make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them that know me. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia. This man was born there. And verse 5 that reads, And of Zion it shall be said, This and that man was born in her, and the highest himself shall establish her. And 6. The Lord shall count, when he writeth of the people, that this man was born there, Selah. And verse 7. As well the singers as the players on instruments shall be there. All my springs are in thee. And as we turn to the treasury of David for the exposition, let's go ahead and read verse 4 again. I will make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them that know me. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia. This man was born there. And Spurgeon pens. I will make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them that know me. This shall be a glorious subject to speak of concerning Zion, that her old foes are newborn and have become her friends, worshipping in the temple of her God. Rahab, or Egypt, which oppressed Israel, shall become a sister nation, and Babylon, in which the tribes endured their second great captivity, shall become a fellow worshipper. Then shall there be mention made in familiar talk of the old enmities forgotten and the new friendships formed. Some consider that these are the words of God himself, and should be rendered, I will mention Rahab and Babylon as knowing me. But we feel content with our common version, and attribute the words to the psalmist himself, who anticipates the conversion of the two great rival nations, and speak of it with exultation. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia. These also are to bow before the Lord. Philistia shall renounce her ancient hate. Tyre shall not be swallowed up by thoughts of her commerce. And distant Ethiopia shall not be too far off to receive the salvation of the Lord. This man was born there. The word man is inserted by the translators to the marring of the sense, which is clear enough when the superfluous word is dropped. Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia. This was born there. That is, this nation has been born into Zion, regenerated into the church of God. Of the new births of nations we will make mention, for it is at once a great blessing and a great wonder. It is a glorious thing indeed when the whole nation are born unto God. Mark ye well Philistia's legions. Lo, to seek the Lord they came. And within the sacred regions, Tyre and Cush have found a home. Many understand the sense of these verses to be that all men are proud of their native country, and so also is a citizen of Zion, so that while of one it is said, he was born in Egypt, and of another, he came from Ethiopia, it would be equally to the honor of others that they were homeborn sons of the city of God. The passage is not so clear that anyone should become dogmatical as to its meaning, but we prefer the interpretation given above. And verse 5 that reads, And Zion, it shall be said, This and that man was born in her, and the highest himself shall establish her. And of Zion it shall be said, This and that man was born in her, not as nations only, but one by one, as individuals, the citizens of the New Jerusalem shall be counted, and their names publicly declared. Man by man will the Lord reckon them, for they are each one precious in his sight. The The individual shall not be lost in the mist, but each one shall be of high account. What a patent of nobility is it for a man to have it certified that he was born in Zion. The twice born are a royal priesthood, the true aristocracy, the imperial race of men. The original, by using the noblest words for man, intimates that many remarkable men will be born in the church. And indeed, every man who is renewed in the image of Christ is an eminent personage, while there are some who, even in the dim eyes of the world, shine forth with a luster of character which cannot be admitted to be unusual and admirable. The church has illustrious names of prophets, apostles, martyrs, confessors, reformers, missionaries, and the like, which bear comparison with the grandest name honored by the world, nay, in many respects far excel them. Zion has no reason to be ashamed of her sons, nor her sons of her. Wisdom is justified of her children, and the highest himself shall establish her, the only establishment worth having. When the numbers of the faithful are increased by the new birth, the Lord proves himself to be the builder of the church. The Lord also deserves to wear the title of defender of the faith. He is the sole and sufficient patron and protector of the true church. There is no fear for the Lord's heritage. His own arm is sufficient to maintain his rights. The highest is higher than all those who are against us, and the good old cause shall triumph over all. In verse 6 it reads, The Lord shall count when he writeth of the people, that this man was born there, Selah. The Lord shall count when he writeth of the people, that this man was born there. At the great census, which the Lord himself shall take, he will number the nations without exceptions, and make an exact registry of them, whether they were by their natural descent Babylonians or Tyrians, or other far-off heathen. May it be our happy lot to be numbered with the Lord's chosen, both in life and death, in the church roll below and in the church roll above. Jehovah's census of his chosen will differ much from ours. He will count many whom we should have disowned, and he will leave out many whom we should have reckoned. His registration is infallible. Let us pray then for that adoption and regeneration which will secure us a place among the heaven-born. It was thought to be a great honor to have one's name written in the golden book of the Republic of Venice. Kings and princes paid dearly for the honor, but the book of life confers far rarer dignity upon all whose names are recorded therein. In verse 7 that reads, As well as the singers as the players on instruments shall be there. All my springs are in thee. In visions, the psalmist sees the citizens of Zion rejoicing at some sacred festival, and marching in triumphant procession with vocal and instrumental music. As well the singers as the players on instruments shall be there. Where God is there must be joy. Where the church is increased by numerous conversions, the joy becomes exuberant and finds out ways of displaying itself. Singers and dancers, psalmists and pipers, united their efforts and made a joyful procession to the temple, inspired not by Bacchus or by the Castalian fount, but by draughts from the sacred source of all good, of which they each one sing, All my springs are in thee. Did the poet mean that henceforth he would find all his joys in Zion, or that to the Lord he would look for all inspiration, comfort, strength, joy, life, and everything? The last is the truest doctrine. Churches have not such all-sufficiency within them that we can afford to look to them for all. But the Lord who founded the church is the eternal source of all our supplies, and looking to him, we shall never flag or fail. How truly does all our experience lead us to look to the Lord by faith and say, all my fresh springs are in thee. The springs of my faith and all my graces, the springs of my life and all my pleasures, the springs of my activity and all its right doings, the springs of my hope and all its heavenly anticipation, all lie in thee, my Lord. Without thy Spirit I should be as a dry well, a mocking cistern, destitute of power to bless myself or others. O Lord, I am assured that I belong to the regenerate whose life is in thee, for I feel that I cannot live without thee. Therefore, with all thy joyful people will I sing thy praises. With joy shall sing the choral train, the minstrels breathe the answering strain. O Zion, Zion fair I see, the fountains of my bliss in thee. Trust you enjoy the meditation, the exposition on Psalms 87. Oh, how glorious things are said of him. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Michael here declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be blessed.